Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up. And you degenerates, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, August 11th, 11 o'clock in the morning. My guys, salute. Nightmare in Seattle, sleepless in Seattle, as the movie said. Shout out to the chat. Brunson, I see you. Salute. Absolutely no way this team to lose, especially with a 10K performance from Nestor Cortez. They need to get back to whatever they were doing to get them to 30 games above 500. Brunson, my man, I 100% agree with you. It came down to the bullpen. Our bullpen is beat up right now. Our bullpen is tired and depleted. Albert Abreu got the call, and he gave up the lead in the 7th inning. You can't script it better for the Seattle Mariners. Albert Abreu came in. Albert Abreu, not one of the best Yankees relievers, especially in top leverage situations, and he gave it up. This is the same Albert Abreu that we left on a big league roster so we could send down Ron Marinaccio, because Ron, good old Ronnie boy, has options and Abreu doesn't. And we lost the game because of it. Shout out to my brother Michael Mazza in the 4 Train Express. Mazza, I see you. Salute, salute, salute. What is up, brother? Listen, man, I'm just here trying to find a silver lining, because these Yankees in Seattle was horrible. You got everything what you wanted from Nestor Cortez. Everything you wanted from Nestor Cortez. 6th inning, 10 strikeouts. Everything you could have wanted from Nestor Cortez. But for some reason, Aaron Boone decided, I'm going to take him out after the 6th. And this is what's frustrating to me. Because the other day, the game that we won with Jameson Taillon on the mound, Jameson Taillon, he pushed him an extra inning. Gave up an extra run and gave up an extra home run. But for some reason, yes, Nestor Cortez gave up a home run in the 6th inning. Yes, he did. But the Yankees came back and took the lead. Inning limit is what I believe to be the issue. Cool, copy. If that's the issue, that's the issue. I'd rather cut Abreu than send Marinaccio down. Agree. Me and you are right here, Mazza. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. And we saw, ultimately, what comes out of that situation. When you leave Abreu on the roster because he has no options, and you send down Ron Marinaccio, and you put Albert Abreu in a high leverage situation, we lose the game. Proof's in the pudding. Hopefully, when postseason comes around, Albert Abreu is not being put into these high leverage situations like last night, because it was a bit frustrating, especially after the team battled back. You know, the Yankees went, I think, 18 innings or something like that, scoreless streak, 17, 18, around that range. Got a home run. Aaron Judge hit his 45th of the year. 45th of the year. And then you give it up. And instead of pitching Wandy Peralta in the 7th inning, you save him for later on in the game, which made no sense. It made no sense, especially when you had Kelnick coming up and another lefty and Adam Frazier. You bring in Albert Abreu. That makes no sense. I know it was Haggerty, the right-hander, who got the home run, but you got Haggerty, Kelnick, and Frazier coming up. So you go to a righty and Albert Abreu. That makes no sense to me as a head scratcher. But hey, I'm not Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is Aaron Boone, you know. And like Mazza said, I'd rather see Efros or Trevino. Trevino, he's been pitching like 2 days in a row. It would have been 3 days in a row. Efros, yeah. Because Efros did a pitch on Monday. And also Trevino. So you're right, Mazda. Yeah, Trevino was rested. Trevino and Efros was both rested. So why are we putting Albert Abreu in a high leverage situation when we have an off day the next day today. It made no sense. And it was a day game after the Yankees stood up. Well, it was 4 in the afternoon over here, but in Seattle, it was a day game after playing till 2 in the morning on the East Coast, 11 at night on the West Coast. I don't know, man. Sleepless in Seattle. The nightmare continues. The remake. I have no idea. I am a lost of words when it comes to this Yankee team right now. We started off well in Seattle, winning the first game. We got 7 dominant, not dominant, but 7 solid innings out of Jameson Taillon. Game 2, we get 7 shutout innings from Garrett Cole. In game 3, we get 6 innings of 1-run baseball from Nestor Cortez. Everything is a recipe for success. Normally. But for some reason, our bullpen, which normally is our best part of this team, the bullpen which helped carry us at the beginning of the season when the starters were struggling, is letting us down lately. Whether it's Clay Holmes not figuring it out, seems like he's got it together though. Aroldis Chapman seems like he got it together. But for some reason, Aaron Boone, he's trying to stretch out that pecking order. We had an off day on Thursday. You had Efros and Trevino both ready in the bullpen. Why go with Albert Abreu? Why go with Albert Abreu? That's all I want to know, Aaron Boone. When you have Efros and Trevino ready to go, Wandy Peralta only threw 6 pitches the night before. Why are you going with Albert Abreu? You had Haggerty leading off the inning, and then you had Kelnick and Frazier right afterwards. If I'm mistaken, somebody please correct me in the chat. And now we're sitting here thinking, when is Harrison Bader come back? Because this is why I can't stand Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks had an awesome game, throwing out runners on the base paths in game 1. But then he's going hitless. He's getting no hits. He went 3 for 4 in St. Louis, and since then he hasn't gotten a hit. And I said it. Aaron Hicks going 3 for 4. He just brought himself a grace period so he could go another 0 for 30. And I'm not sure if you Yankee fans saw it last night, but our guy, Joey Gallo, hit a 3-run bomb for the LA Dodgers. I'm going to say this again. Our guy, Joey Gallo, hit a 3-run opposite bomb for the Dodgers last night. I think he was trying to hit it in the direction of Michael K's home, trying to get that to Michael K's front yard. Joey Gallo, salute to you. And it was random that I even tuned in to watch it. I was on Twitter, and then I seen one of my mutuals on Instagram, one of my mutual Yankee fans that I follow, fan page. They went live, and I was like, let me see what they're talking about. And it was a Joey Gallo at bat. And then watching that Joey Gallo bat, I was thinking, I was like, if this man hits a home run, and surely he did, he hit a 3-run bomb to opposite field, a pitch down the middle. Now, if he was the Yankees, that pitch would have probably been popped up, easily popped up to like the shortstop. But since he's not with the Yankees, those infield pop-up turns into home runs. For Hicks is either he goes 3 for 4, 4 for 4, or 0 for century. Yeah, I wouldn't even put that 4 for 4 there, Mazza, because Hicks will get you 3 for 4, and then you dive deep into those numbers, and two of them joints is infield singles. Sip of my coffee real quick. But yeah, I have no idea when it comes to this team moving forward. We have a series coming up against Boston. We have a few games coming up, I think, against Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let me just look at the schedule just so I can have it Official. Let me see. My man Mazza said it seems as if Boone has an obsession with guys that can get it together. I don't understand the loyalty. These are guys who are better suited for situations. Albert Abreu is a prime example. I don't know what it is either, Mazza. I don't know what it is either. Because Albert Abreu, when you look at his numbers, he has phenomenal numbers in like low leverage situations, right? When he's coming in as just a mop-up guy to get an extra few innings because there's a blown lead or we're down by 4 runs, we're not coming back. It seems like he's able to get people out. But it's these high leverage situations. And he left a changeup right in the middle of the plate that was bombed for a home run. But yeah, we got 3 games coming up against Boston, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Each game is a 7 o'clock game. Sunday's game is the ESPN game. Then we have the Tampa Bay Rays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Each one of those games is 3 p.m. But the Tuesday game is on TBS, so make sure you guys are able to watch the game. Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's against the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Blue Jays. Both Saturday and Sunday games at 1 o'clock. Saturdays at 1:05, Sundays at 1:35. And then next week, the following week afterwards, that Monday, you got the Mets and Yankees, Monday and Tuesday. And I'm going to be there for both games. Monday, I'm going to be going with my man Keith. And Tuesday, I will be going with my man John from Ron and John, still Knick fans. So, yeah, be a good time. As well, also, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram, Project Nerd HQ. As well, follow me on Twitter, Yankees Brew KOD. I will be putting out little clips on Instagram, so please stay tuned. You're gonna want to follow that. But yeah, off day today, and that's what's more frustrating. This is the 3rd series in a row the Yankees lost. Yeah, we lost the series against the Cardinals. We lost that series against the Mariners at home. Then, hold on. We won the series against Kansas City. Yeah, we won the series against Kansas. We lost the series against the Mets. We won the series against Baltimore, barely. Yeah, so like out of like the 3 or the 4 last series, we lost 4 of them. Yeah. Like I said, this Yankee team is frustrating, especially when you're trying to turn things around in August, headed towards September, and you lose on the road in Seattle after you get a dominant starting performance from Nestor Cortez. You lose the game, and now we have to deal with an off day. That's what's frustrating. That's what hurts more. We're off. We don't have another game until Friday. So having to sit with this for an extra 24 hours without the Yankees having a game, especially when you have the Mets doing what they're doing. And shout out to the Mets. I'm gonna keep saying it. They have a solid team. Edwin Diaz probably has the best entrance music in all of baseball, if not that I've ever seen or heard. One thing I would say is, as much as I love Mariano Rivera and Enter the Sandman, what Edwin Diaz is doing over there in Queens, it's phenomenal. It really is. It really sets the tone, and it gets you that energy for the 9th inning. And this is the thing about it too. It'd be one thing if Edwin Diaz had that entrance music, right? And he'll come in, but then he'll give up home runs and he gets hit around. No. Yeah, that if you're having that type of a season with that entrance music, you deserve to get knocked around. But when he's coming in and he's throwing darts, lasers, basically, Frankie and I said it yesterday, the best closer in baseball. When you're doing that and you have this music behind you, it just makes it so much better. And Met fans are really enjoying it. Albert Wheeler, salute Albert. He said, bright spot maybe Judge home runs. I want him to hit 60 plus, but like the team, are hits at the right time. Yeah, absolutely. One thing about this Yankee team that gets me frustrated is, as great of as a year that Aaron Judge is having, Albert, right? I enjoy it more when the Yankees score runs off of doubles or singles with runners in scoring position. I enjoy that more than seeing the Yankees hit home runs because the hitters could go on stretches where you get 2 home runs, 3 home runs a game, 4 home runs a game. That's all cool and dandy. But it's the times when we have runners in scoring positions, the bases loaded, nobody out, or runner on second and third, one out, and we can't drive both or if not one of those runners in. You know, I agree with you, Albert. I want to see Judge hit 60 plus home runs, but like you said, let them be hits at the right time during the right situation. Now I'm gonna bring my man Frankie in. I'm gonna bring my man Frankie in, but before I bring Frankie in, I want to play the intro because I switched it up a little bit this morning. So be right back. Stay tuned to the Yankees Morning Brew as I come back with my co-host Frankie 2 times. Frankie, baby, what it do?
What it do?
I'm good, bro. Just trying to be alive and trying to have positive thoughts after the Yankees.
Yeah, that's tough after last night. That's really tough after last night.
Yeah, especially when you have the combination of Nestor Cortez giving you 6 innings, 1 run, 10 strikeouts, Aaron Judge hitting a home run. Normally, that's a recipe for success, but lately with this Yankee team, we just haven't been able to close the door. Frankie, what's your thoughts?
Yep, it's true. I mean, we've really kind of a rough patch over the past 2 or 3 weeks, and if we're the same team as we were earlier in the year, we don't lose the game yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, so it's really kind of, I don't know. It's tough because earlier in the year, we all thought that this was going to be like we were going to win the World Series or finally our year, but right now it doesn't look like we're going anywhere with the way we've been playing recently. So hopefully they can figure it out. Have an off day. Go to Boston tomorrow. Hopefully they can kind of figure it out.
It's like right now. Hold on. Oh, it's like I forgot what scientist this was, but it's like whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. And
it has.
And that's what's happening now with the Yankees because we come back, we got the lead, and even with the lead, salute Molly, salute. Hope all is well, Molly. Good morning, good morning. Even with the lead, right in the 7th inning, you're not feeling comfortable with this team.
Nope.
Normally, like you said, Frankie, early in the season, you felt very comfortable, especially with this bullpen. This bullpen was our strong part of this of our team early in the season when the hitting wasn't doing good and when the starting pitching was struggling. Our bullpen carried us. But right now, especially in these past 30 to 40 games, our bullpen has been our Achilles heel and has been hurting us.
Yep, for sure. So I just hope they can break out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah. That's really all you can.
Tough stretch.
It's really all you can do right now, Frankie, when you look at the team, because it's like, as somebody who pitched, and I'm always reference and throw it to you because I've never played, at the level that you have played, right, Frankie? I've only watched and I play MLB The Show. That's it. But whenever these type of conversations, I always want to throw it to you, Frankie, because you have experience, you have lived experience on top of it because you played in these situations. How much of a gut punch is it to you? Especially if it's 2 weeks in a row, every time you guys claw back, you guys give it up. How much of a momentum sucker is that out of the locker room?
Oh, it's a killer. It's a killer, especially when you know you can play to a higher standard and you have earlier in the year. So when you know you're a lot better team than you're playing and you blow games like they did last night and like they have over this past stretch, It's really a tough feeling as a team. It's a really tough feeling. So just there's not really much more you can do, but just go out and play every day and hope some of the things that fell in your favor start to again.
And
Like
any advice that you could give, say, like, if you and your guys was going through a rough patch, is there anything that you would do specifically, whether it's, what, I'm gonna go for an extra jog, what, I'm gonna just listen to an extra song? Is there any advice that you can give these Yankee players to like try to turn it around? What's your thoughts?
I mean, there's not really much. I'm kind of superstitious, so I got to wear the same pair of socks every game. So we kind of have a tough stretch. I'll change my socks maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, there's not really much more you can do except just go out and play.
And you called it also, right? And I don't want to let this slide. You called it yesterday when you was like, "Oh, Judge is not going to hit a home run."
Yep.
It was the reverse. It was your reverse jinx that you always like to put out,
Yep.
and he hit a home run. And I'm watching the game, and I seen him hit the home run, and I'm like, "This son of a bitch, Frankie." Like,
yeah, man, it's God. Hey, the Yankees are never going to win again. Hopefully that'll. Yankees will never win again.
Yeah. There you go. Let's see what happens when we come back Monday.
Right.
But want to shout out the chat real quick. My guy Pete, salute Pete. Thank you for coming through. Happy early Thursday morning to my guy Pete. Hope all is well. And Molly as well. Like I said, Molly in the 4 Train Express with my man Michael Mazza. But I messaged you this last night on Twitter. I want to get your thoughts. Joey Gallo with that bomb.
Yank, let's go.
Did you see it by any chance?
I saw the tweet. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you follow, but there's a Twitter account. It like posts out whenever a player hits a home run.
Oh, you're gonna have to send me the thread so I can follow them.
It's called like MLB home runs or something, and it just like tweets out like the player who hit it, what number home run it was, and if it was a solo shot, 2-run, whatever, and if it was their first, second in the game, just stuff like that. And so I was like half asleep. I was just scrolling through my phone, and I got the notification from that Twitter account. It said Joey Gallo, Los Angeles Dodgers 3-run. I was like, what? I had to wake myself up. I had to grab water. I didn't know if I was seeing it right. Yeah, and then turns out he was pinch hitting.
Yeah, and that was the big part about him. He was it was a pinch hit.
First off, why are you pinch hitting Joey Gallo? Second off, it worked.
It worked. Hey, you got to just tip your hat off. It was a 97 mile per hour fastball down the middle, and Joey Gallo did what a big leaguer is supposed to do. He deposited into the seats in left field.
He went the other way too. Oh my God, they fixed him.
I was just talking about you guys. Shout out to my guys Ron and John from Still Nick fans. Can't wait because this Donovan Mitchell news is running crazy, and the Knicks need to do something quick before I lose more hair on my head, Ron or John, whoever is right now. But Frankie, let's break it down. Let's do our breakdown. I'll start off with the Yankees. I'll do the lineup. You handle the pitching, and vice versa for the other team around. All right, brother.
Cool.
So for the Yankees, of course, DJ LeMahieu leading it off. The second baseman was 0 for 3. Wait, hold on. Before I even bring this up, let me bring this down real quick.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Aaron Boone and this lineup taking out Andrew Benintendi after he's been hot versus a left-handed pitcher, but starting Anthony Rizzo coming back off an injury after sitting a few days?
I wasn't a fan. I don't know about you, but I was shocked when I saw him not being in the lineup. It was weird. Yeah. He's been hot. He went 2 for 5 the other day. He's been bringing some good at bats, some hits together, and then you pinch hit him in the 9th inning. Like, come on,
it's ridiculous because if you're going to say, all right, we're sitting him because it's a lefty on lefty, copy.
Then why is Rizzo playing? Right?
Thank you. I will understand it if that's the reason, but then you put Rizzo out there, who hasn't even started a game since the St. Louis series, if not before the St. Louis series, because he missed it because he was injured.
Yeah.
Anywho, that was my blow-up moment of the morning. But no sense in the world. But you got DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman, leading it off. He was 0 for 3. Aaron Judge, the right fielder, 1 for 2 with with some more walks. They're just walking Aaron Judge. They're scared to pitch to him. You got Anthony Rizzo, Anthony Calzone coming back off an injury at first base, was 0 for 4. Josh Donaldson, Frankie and I called it out. Josh Donaldson had an awesome game 1 against the Mariners, went 4 for 5, but he's been 0 for ever since. He was 0 for 3 yesterday, or the day before, 0 for 4. So ever since going 4 for 5, he's been 0 for 7. And when you look at the numbers and you compare it, cool, 0 for 7, but he got 4 hits and 5 at bats. So he's basically third, whatever. He's a streaky hitter. Josh Donaldson should not be on this team next year, period. We need Stanton back in this lineup because this lineup is so much deadlier with Stanton. But anywho, you got Gleyber Torres at DH. He was 0 for 3. Another guy 0 for 3. Aaron Hicks 1 for 4. I can't stand Aaron Hicks. Miguel Andujar in left field, he was 1 for 3. Isaiah Kiner for left field, the shortstop, was 0 for 3. And Kyle Higashioka 1 for 4, had a home run. You got to give it up to Higgy. I'm not sure if it was the double jinx thing also, because earlier yesterday, you and I was literally talking about Higashioka not being able to hit.
How bad he is.
And he answered us with a home run. He said, I heard my guy Frankie talking that mess, so I had to hit a 2-run bomb in the 6th inning. And he did. He did. It was phenomenal. Go ahead, Frankie. Hit him with the pitches.
Nestor Cortez threw 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, gave up 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and he struck out 10. He took a no-hitter into the 6th, but it was broken up by that home run. Albert Abreu, the losing pitcher, threw 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, gave up 1 earned run, struck out a guy. And Wandy Peralta came in, threw an inning, struck out 1.
Yeah, and it was frustrating because it's like Albert Abreu Wandy Peralta, right? His thing is he didn't want to go to Wandy early because Wandy pitched and the day before and the extra innings. So why did you go to him at all in that game? Why even bring him in? If your excuse was you didn't want to use him because he pitched the day before, you still brought him in. Bring him in the 7th.
Stupid. So
especially when you have the lineup righty, lefty, lefty, because you had Haggerty leading off that inning, right? Then you had Adam Frazier and Jared Kelnick, the next 2 batters. Wandy Peralta was the perfect person to bring in to face those batters.
Yep. And I was a 10. And Abreu has been struggling recently too.
Yeah.
Abreu's been pretty bad.
He had, especially in high leverage situations, Frankie.
Yep. So that was I think that move cost us the game. Putting in Abreu instead of Wandy.
Absolutely. And we talked about it yesterday. Albert Abreu being on this team just because he didn't have any options over Ron Marinaccio, that right there just proved to lose us a game right there.
Yep.
Because it would have been Ron Marinaccio from Toms River, New Jersey.
From Toms River, New Jersey.
Because they always got to bring him the fact he's from Toms River, New Jersey.
He's from Toms River. Jose Trevino was an all-star.
He had lunch one time in Toms River, New Jersey.
Ron Marinaccio is an all-star, and Ron Marinaccio is from Toms River, and Jose Trevino is an all-star catcher. Just in case you didn't know.
Who had lunch in Toms River, New Jersey. Just so if you didn't know. But the Mariners side of things, handle the hitters. I'll do the pitching.
All right, so Adam Frazier, second baseman, 0 for 4. Ty France at first, 1 for 3. Mitch Haniger, 1 for 3. Eugenio Suarez, 1 for 2. Carlos Santana, 1 for 3, but he hit that home run. Luis Torrens, the catcher, 0 for 2. Dylan Moore, the shortstop, 1 for 2. Haggerty, the left fielder, 1 for 3. And Jared Kelnick in center went 0 for 3. Overall, just not a good offensive day. They only scored 4 runs. They only had a couple hits. They had 1, 2, 3. They only had 4 hits, but just so happened they out hit us. You know what I mean?
They made them count.
Yep.
They made them count. And when you look at the pitching side of things, right? Robbie Ray had 5 walks.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get the big hit to put their foot on the neck of Robbie Ray.
Nope.
Robbie Ray out there pitching with his Dominican pants on. But Robbie Ray went 6 1/3, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. Murphy came in after him, pitched the inning pitched 2/3 of the innings, gave up a hit, 1 run, no walks, a strikeout. He's the one who gave up that home run to Judgy Wudgy. Then you had Castillo come in. Castillo pitched the inning, just coming back off the DL also, or the IL, I should say. Castillo pitched the inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Seawald came in, pitched the inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, a strikeout, getting his 15th save. And the winning pitcher was Murphy, going 3-0 on the season for the Seattle Mariners, because the Yankees were sleepless in Seattle this past series.
They went to sleep.
They literally went to sleep.
Yep.
My man Ron said, "Hey, heck, it's Ron, by the way. We are pulling whatever here we have left out." Absolutely. Because the Yankees, the Knicks are putting me in a whirlwind for the season that's coming up. Molly said, "I'm a Celtic fan, just to clear, Boston Celtics fan, just to clear the air. Is that okay with everyone?" Yes, Molly.
Not with me. Not with me. I'm a Knicks fan, man.
Listen, I'm a diehard Knicks fan also. Listen, Molly, as long as it's all respectful, it's all good, you know.
Yeah.
But she said, I'm also a New England Patriots fan too. Hey, I'm a Giants fan. We beat you guys twice in the Super Bowl, so I'm good.
Oh God. I'm not even gonna say what team I like.
Please put it in the private chat then. Put it in the private chat, Frankie.
Cowboys fan, man. Cowboys.
Oh, listen. You could like the Cowboys. You know, you just guys have a bad owner. That's all it is.
Yeah. Terrible.
But no, listen, to me, the Cowboys, they've been a historic franchise for years. They just need some good ownership to put them in the right direction. You guys always have a solid team. Every year you guys have a solid team. It's just that little extra oomph to get you over the edge.
Yep. Jerry Jones, man. Just gotta get rid of him.
My man Metaverse King said, "Molly, I'm from Boston. I am too." Yes, Metaverse King is our, how would you say, community Boston fan. That's my guy, though. But ultimately, moving forward, it's kind of hard to find the silver lining when you have series like this that just happened, because we were in the lead in yesterday's game. The day before, we had several opportunities and extra innings to score runs, but for some reason we decided to be little leaguers on the base path.
Those are little league mistakes. Like the Little League World Series is going right now. You could probably see the same mistakes Yankees made the other night in that. Games.
Oh, 100%.
Horrible mistakes. 100%. What happened?
Horrible. It's high school and little league mistakes that major league players that are making millions of dollars shouldn't make. It's unexcusable.
Oh, it is. It's
now, if it was something, Frankie, that it happened 1 inning, cool.
Yeah,
but it happened 3 innings in a row.
Yeah.
Horrible. Like what is a manager supposed, like, at that point, right? It's not, I can't even blame Boom. When something that happens, I can't even blame Boom. I can't blame Brian Cashman. It's hard to find who exactly to blame.
Players. I mean, there's really like when you're a manager in the big leagues, I kind of talked on this yesterday. You don't really like practice with your guys, stuff like that, because when you're there, when you're in the big leagues, you're you're expected to not make the boneheaded plays like that.
It's literally feels like you're falling asleep on the field. Like, it literally feels like I'm not sure if you remember from back in the day. You remember the player Adam LaRoche? He used to play with the Braves, the Pirates. I think what else? I think the Red Sox for a year. But Adam LaRoche was a player that literally would do that all the time. Right. Literally, he would not field the ball properly. He was a first baseman, and then it came out years later that he has ADHD, like me, which I understand that sometimes you just lose your focus. But Adam LaRoche was probably like the worst baseball player when it came to like being in the moment and like and fielding his position. He was a phenomenal hitter, phenomenal DH, but fielding his position was the worst. And what the Yankees did in those extra innings reminded me of the bonehead plays that Adam LaRoche would do from time to time. Let me just look in the chat. Yeah, unacceptable. My man Pete said Jerry Jones and his son are the problem. They ain't
Yep.
football people. Never even coach Pop more.
I
Never
agree.
even.
They're just not football people.
Yeah.
And what bothers me, you know, I mean, this is kind of me being a little like, I don't know, I'm kind of being a little not petty. What's the word? I'm kind of picking this out, but like every
You can
time
use we can use petty. Petty is
I
a
don't know,
nice
I don't
verb
know
to
if that's the
use.
right word, but no, it's not. It's definitely not the right word. I'm picking this out, but every time we score a touchdown, they have to cut to Jerry Jones. But that's
Mm.
not. I hate that. Like he didn't do it. Cut to Dak Prescott. Cut to Zeke. It wasn't
It's
Jerry Jones.
it's like it's like every time he's on the field, they have to show him. It's like always mentioning the fact that somebody's from Toms Rivers, New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah. That's like my Cowboys version of the Ron Marinaccio. Whenever they score, it's a picture. They show Jerry Jones.
Yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is. Jerry Jones has a how can I say this? It's like a the sand. You know the sand stopwatch, the flippy
Yeah,
sand. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like that, but it's like the more touchdowns the Cowboys score, and if it fills up, the closer Jerry Jones is to dying. So every time the Cowboys score, he knows that's coming. That's why he has that sad face on his face.
yeah, yeah. And he doesn't even. He kind of just. It's not like he gets up and celebrates. He just kind of sits there like this, just like this. Like he's not celebrating. He's not. He's just sitting there watching the game. Like, I kind of feel bad for him. It's kind of like they're invading his freaking privacy. You know what I mean? Like they're just throwing a camera in his face. Like, let him be. No one wants to see him. He doesn't want to be on TV. Just let him watch the game in peace. Like,
I
it's
think
like
that's what it is. It's like every time they score, he knows they're gonna pan to him, and he's like, "Son of a
yeah,
bitch!"
right.
But let me look at the chat real quick.
Just let the man enjoy his football game. Give me a break.
Let's see. My man said it's hard. My man Michael Mazza said it's hard when you have a lead and then your bullpen blows it.
Yep.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. Molly, hold on. My man Pete said too many swing and misses. Players with very little team speed, that worries me. Yeah, you know, when we were clicking on all cylinders, that's when John Carlos Stanton was hitting close to 300, getting on base late in the inning. I'm late in the game, and then we sent Tim LaCastro to pinch run for him, still second base, and score to add on extra runs for the lead and hand it over to the bullpen. But when you have your bullpen struggling, you brought it up yesterday, Frankie. Normally in games where the Yankees are up 1 to 2 runs, we were winning that at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Now, if we don't have a 3 or 4 run lead, you're nervous and you're most likely going to lose the game.
Yep. For sure. It's tough.
It's super tough, especially if you're a big league team that's trying to make the postseason. The postseason games are decided normally by 2, 3, or 1 run, right? That's why you play during the season so you can get used to that environment. At the beginning of the year, the Yankees were used to that environment. We were over 500 when it came to games decided by 2 runs or less. Now we're under 500 when it comes to that after the All-Star break. And you're not going to win many games, especially in the postseason, if that's the team that you have and that's the team that you're putting out there on the field.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
It's and then what's even more frustrating, Frankie, is there anything that the team, like, what can this team do? Like, we're past the trade deadline.
Mhm.
Right? We can't add anybody, right? So it's like, what can this team do to get out of this funk right now?
I mean, I think it all. I mean, a lot of it depends on how Stanton plays when he comes back. I think a lot of our success kind of depends on him. So if he can play like he was like earlier in the season, I think I think we can kind of slot right back to the team we were. Because then his ability to provide runs for the team can kind of outweigh the way the bullpen has been pitching recently. I mean, the way the bullpen has been, you can't really get much worse. So they can only get better, I feel like, because they've been brutal.
Yeah.
So from now on, when Stan comes back, I think a lot of it is going to depend on him.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, that extra inning game that was going on to like 2 a.m. If John Carlos Stanton got at least one opportunity to hit, I think the Yankees score, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you have to face Judge, who you could just walk, and then the
Mhm.
only other threats is Josh Donaldson, Gleyber Torres, and Aaron Hicks for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Any team would rather face those three hitters instead of facing Judge, Rizzo, and Stanton.
Yep. For sure. So
I
when it
don't know.
comes back, it's definitely gonna help the entire team as a whole, and hopefully he can play well. You know what I mean? Like 3 All-Star break Stanton is what we're gonna need to kind of get out of this funk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
So
100%. Especially he's coming back in Boston. He has great numbers against the Boston Red Sox. So hopefully, he's coming back against a team that he's comfortable hitting against, especially in Fenway Park. He kills in Fenway Park. So hopefully that's a recipe for success this weekend. But at the
yeah.
same time, it's like we can hope for that, Frankie. You and I, we can hope for that. But
Mhm.
in our gut, do we feel confidence that this team is going to succeed this weekend? I'm not confident.
I am. I'm confident.
Well, at least that makes one of us. Hopefully, you prove me wrong, Frankie.
Hopefully I do.
um, just want to give a quick moment to the chat. Tonight's the Field of Dreams game. It's the Chicago Cubs versus the Cincinnati Reds. Any interest on this game tonight, Frankie?
Oh my God, it's gonna be it's gonna be cool. But I had to understand why those two teams are the teams playing the Field of Dreams game. Like you had to get the two worst teams in the league. I
Yeah, and it's
I I I
yeah,
I know it's a Field of Dreams game, but if you want more attention to it, you have to put top teams in there. You have to put
mm-hmm,
good competitive teams in there, right?
mm-hmm,
Last year it was the Yankees and the White Sox. That's when the White Sox were good, and that's
mm-hmm,
when the Yankees were heating up last year. Because
mm-hmm,
right around that time in August is when the Yankees started to pick it back up.
mm-hmm.
So when you have the Yankees, who are a good team, and the White Sox, who were good then. I mean, not anymore, but they were pretty good back then last year. So when you have two good teams in the Field of Dreams game, that totally would spike interest. When you have
Yeah,
the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds, like why though? I just don't understand why those two teams. They are two
I
of, if not the two worst teams in baseball.
Yeah, I don't know
I don't
either.
get
It's
it.
it's it's not like before the season started, Frankie. They were they
Those
were
were
ranked high on the
they were
power
both bad
rankings.
coming in the year. Yeah.
There was no expectations for either of those teams to be good. Now,
No.
if you want to say, oh, it's because those are two like historic franchise that we have in baseball, I'll let you get away with that. But at the same time, you could have used the Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
If your excuse was you wanted to have teams that historically were around during the 20s and 30s, you could have had the LA Dodgers be in the Brooklyn Dodgers uniform, and you could have had the St. Louis Cardinals playing instead of
Yep.
the Reds and the Cubs.
Reds and the Cubs. That's just not good baseball. Just not.
It's not good baseball, but at the same time, it may be good offense because both teams
Yeah.
can't pitch, but they can hit. And in that field, offense, you saw how the balls flew last year with the
Yeah, and
Yankees and the
and
White
and, and
Sox.
they're gonna use the juice balls. I think they're gonna
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
they did in the Yankees Mets series. Like they're gonna use that same package of baseballs that they did in the Yankees Mets series
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
1 second. Never. I would never take that job. I would never take that job because Yankee fans are Yankee fans, and I'm a Yankee fan, and I can say that I would never take that job because I know there's going to be somebody like me on the internet critiquing me, and I have bad issues with that. I get
Yeah,
in my head and I start feeling nervous about everything. So
yeah.
I'll pass on it. Maybe I'll give that job to Frankie. Give that job to
I'm
Frankie.
I'm
I'm good.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, man. I'm in the same boat as you, as to where I just don't want the people of New York to freak out if I don't get a player they want, like we tend to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I do.
exactly. Yeah,
So
my dog has an Instagram page, right? I don't want New
yeah,
Yorkers to find my dog's Instagram page and start
and send me
trolling my dog.
messages. Yeah, no, the dog.
Let's see. Anything. Let's see. Carpenter is a big loss. He's been hitting like Lou Gehrig for us.
Yeah, that's a
Listen,
huge loss.
big time loss. Big time loss. He was the only hitter outside of Aaron Judge that teams feared facing.
Yeah,
Right or wrong, Frankie? What's your thoughts on it?
I agree. He was the only guy besides Judge and Stanton that teams were scared of. So him, like, pretty much out for the rest of the year. is going to be horrible for this offense. So hopefully, I mean, we'll get what's his name, Bader back, and that can kind of make up for his defense. So like Bader and Benintendi can kind of make up for his pretty bad outfield defense. So maybe we can kind of get that back, like a little value back. But losing Carpenter's bat is killer for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Molly, hopefully your confidence could rub off on me, because I have no confidence this weekend. It's the Boston Red Sox. Hopefully we don't get embarrassed in Boston. That's all I could try to wish for. We don't get embarrassed.
I want to win. I want to sweep them. I want to sweep them.
Yeah. One thing I could say is, right, because we try to find a silver lining. We try to find a grace period, something we could point to and just try to hold our hat on. Aaron Boone, right? Going back to the St. Louis series, even in this series with the Mariners, coming to the defense of his players, right? Sunday's game in St. Louis, horrible umpiring. But Aaron Judge still went out there and challenged the umpires. What's your thoughts on Aaron Judge? And if you're a player, Frankie, if Aaron Judge was your manager, is that somebody? I mean, Aaron Boone. Is Aaron Boone somebody you're going to go to war for, knowing that he's going to have your back?
Oh, yeah. Coaches like that are the best. Love coaches like that. My high school coach was the same way. You know what I mean? Would go out and fight for us. You know what I mean? A coach like that can also help energize the dugout, can help energize the clubhouse, can get everyone hype. You know what I mean? Coaches like that are really good because they also can put an umpire into their place. You know what I mean? If an umpire is kind of, having a bad day like the other day in St. Louis, a manager like Boone, who's not afraid to go out there and scream at him for his awful performances, is honestly very good for not just the team, but for the umpire himself to kind of humble him a little bit. So, and if I'm a player and I have Aaron Boone as my manager, I'm going to war for him every time because he's just that good of a manager in that sense.
Copy. Now, when it comes to the umpires, because you brought up the umpires, so I want to ask you. Now, I played, Baptist Church League growing up or whatever. So the referees that I had to deal with for basketball were okay. With the umpires with baseball, is it an ego thing? Do they really have an ego, or that's just one in a few? Yeah.
They all have egos. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially the older ones. I remember I had an umpire my senior year this year. I had an umpire. I don't know. I threw a pitch right down the middle. My catcher caught it kind of bad. I was like, whatever. It was a ball. But I mean, he could have caught it was a strike, but my catcher kind of caught it weird. I was like, whatever. Yeah. So I kind of had a look in my face. I was like, kind of went like that, kind of shook my head a little bit, and he goes, it was low. I was like, I didn't even say anything, Blue. I didn't say anything. I shook my head. He goes, watch your mouth before I kick you out. I was like, really? You're gonna kick me out for shaking my head? And he was like, yeah, I will. I was like, okay, buddy. And I just kept pitching. Like,
and this is a grown ass man talking to a high school senior, right?
This is a 75-year-old man coaching or umpiring for my Catholic high school, talking to an 18-year-old kid. Like, give me a break, bro. Like, umpires like that are horrible.
Jesus.
And then between innings, my coach went out and like kind of shoved it to him and said, hey, like that's what I like about my coach. He is kind of like Boone. He was kind of like Boone in the sense where like that. Because he went out there and stuck up for me. Between innings, their pitcher's warming up. We're getting our helmets on and stuff. My coach goes out there and chews him out. I was like, thank you. Like, coaches like Aaron Boone, coaches like that are very good for the team, and also umpires can help them humble them. So, coaches like that are good.
Copy. Pete says, what happened to that Steven Ridings kid? Maybe he'll be back this year, and we could. I've been waiting for him because he came up last year, Frankie, if you remember him, out of nowhere, throwing legit gas, but we haven't seen him. I'm gonna look him up real quick. What's your thought? What was your thoughts on that Steven Ridings kid?
He was good, but what was he the guy who threw all the dirt balls in Boston and lost us that game? That wasn't him, right?
No, that wasn't him.
Because I remember Steven Ridings was good. There
Yeah.
was another guy that just
Hold
couldn't throw a
on.
strike. Can't remember his name.
Hold on. Hold on. What happened?
But Steven Writings was good. I liked him. I don't know where he is.
Ooh, okay. So this is from May of this year,
Mhm.
2020 at the end of May. So basically, end of spring training, you want to say?
Yeah.
January, March, April, May. So no, this was during the season. Apparently, he has shoulder issues. He injured his shoulder early in the year. So let's see, throwing a flat ground service, he may encounter a setback. He right shoulder and pigment. I have no idea what
No
that
clue
is.
what that means. No clue what that means.
Yeah, but it's his shoulder. It's his right shoulder. It's his throwing shoulder. So I don't expect to see him this year. It sucks. It really
Yeah, it
sucks.
does suck. It does suck.
Yeah,
He was good.
he was really good. Yeah, it sucks, man. You never want to see injuries, right? Especially to a young player, but a
Yeah.
pitcher specifically a shoulder issue.
Those are
Specifically a show. Yeah, those are
the
horrible. Those horrible.
killers.
Speaking about umpiring, there's a
Mhm.
video. I'm gonna send it to you, Frankie, so you can see it. But it was on John Boy Media, right? It was
Yeah.
covering the Atlantic League, which is in the minors. It's basically
Yeah.
like what they use to like try out different rules or whatever. But
Mhm.
an umpire,
Oh,
there was an
God.
umpire in that game that he decided to fight both teams and throw out players from both teams. So it was a game at the end. It was a play at the end of the game,
Yeah.
double play. It should have been a double play at the end of the game, but it was a game-winning walk-off, infield, ground rule, whatever you want to say it.
Yeah.
And the players from the losing team went off on the umpire, and the umpire. This is after the game,
Yeah.
arguing with players. The umpire decides, I'm gonna start throwing everybody out. But it's
But
like
the
the game's already
game
over.
you throw someone out after the game. Like, what are you
That's
throwing
the
out of? What are you throwing? What are you like as an umpire? What are you throwing him out of after the game? Like, where's he going?
that's the funny part about it. It was after the game, and he got players in his face arguing. He was like, "Oh yeah, you want to argue? You're out of here." And then the players looked at each other. It was like the game is over. You're out of here. So the players started throwing him out of the game.
That's really funny.
It's hilarious. I'll send you the video later. It was on John
Yeah.
Boy Media, so you can see it. It was hilarious. Hold on, I want to
I
look at the.
I had an umpire once. So I'm like really big on like I know every rule in baseball. Like I'm very big on knowing all the rules.
Mhm.
So I'm pitching. I got an umpire get a rule wrong and call me for a book. So he says, so I give up a hit. And so there's a guy on first already. So I give up like a single, like a bloop single to the outfield, whatever. So outfielder throws the ball in. My shortstop catches it. I'm going back up third base just in case. So I'm walking back to the ground. Me and my shortstop make eye contact. He shows me the ball. I go, okay, cool. I slap my glove. He's gonna hold on to the ball to tag out the runner.
Mm-hmm.
So the rule in high school is that you know how there's like the dirt around the mound.
Yeah.
High school rule is that you can't go inside the circle of dirt without a ball, or else it's a balk, and balk rules apply.
Yeah.
So I'm standing on the grass. Kid takes his lead. My shortstop tags him out. So we're like, yeah, we got the out, whatever. The umpire goes, no, that's a balk. I was like, how's that a balk? He goes, you have to have the ball, and you can't do the hidden ball check. I was like, are you kidding me? That's not the rule. So my coach comes out. He goes, my coach, he's in his 80s. He's been coaching high school baseball for 50 years. He goes, that's not the rule. The rule is you can't be in the circle. I said, yeah, Blue, I can't be in the circle without a ball. I have a picture on my phone of me literally pointing to the circle. Because we had a picture person that took our pictures, and there's a picture. It's hysterical. I'm gonna try and find it, and I'll send it to you, and we can put it up on the screen on Monday. But it was literally a picture of me and my coach explaining the rule to the umpires. I think it's one of my favorite pictures I think I've ever had of myself. It's hysterical.
I can't wait for Monday to see it. It's gonna look like a Jerry Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, I was literally pointing here. I think Yeah, I think I know where it is. I'm
That
gonna find it. It's somewhere in here in my phone. Because it
yeah, it's what's
like
more hilarious is
oh
like that
I
wasn't
found
even
it.
the hit. That wasn't even the hidden ball trick.
I know, I know. I was like, come on. Here, I'm gonna send it to you right now, Hector. It's hysterical. I was able to find it.
Copy. Send it to me. Michael Caputo, what is good?
I took a picture of it on my computer. I don't have
Copy,
it
copy,
saved, but
copy.
I had it on my computer. I just sent it to you through Twitter.
All right, no problem. Thoughts on Benintendi. Listen, his first 20 at bats, he struggled, right?
Mhm. He's heating up now,
But
though.
yeah, he's heated up now. We are on the verge of a collapse if the Yankees don't clean up this mess. I agree, Caputs. I agree. One thing that we can say is it's silver lining ish is we still have a 10-digit lead, 10
Yeah,
game lead in this division, right?
yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean
That,
much because we have a series against the Toronto Blue Jays. The Orioles are heating up. I'm not sure if I don't think we play the Orioles. No, we don't play the Orioles again for the rest of the year. So thank God we don't have to run into that buzzsaw.
yeah, right.
But
Of the
yeah,
Baltimore Orioles.
yeah, don't want to run into that buzzsaw. But ultimately, I'm 80% good with this team
Mhm.
going forward. What about you, Frankie?
I totally agree. I think, like I said earlier, I think once we get Stanton back, that'll help even out the lineup. You know, give Judge a little more protection in the lineup. I know that'll also help us. You know, he can provide a few more runs. You know, driving a few more runs, so we can so the bullpen can have a little more room to struggle like they have been. But
Okay.
hopefully, also like I said, the bullpen can only get better from here because they've been
Yeah.
really bad since the All-Star break. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, and just like I said yesterday, Caputo, I know you hate to hear this, right? Because you know Caputo's fandom and his emotion that he has for this team is something that every organization, every sports franchise, your fan base should have that same energy, or it should be a section of your fan base that has that energy. Because
Mhm.
Michael Caputo fandom is legendary, right? One thing I could say, Caputo, is hopefully this eases you. You don't punch a hole in your wall, but hopefully this eases you over the next 2 weeks, right? If this 10 game lead shrinks down to 5 or 4 games, that means that the Yankees went on a stretch of 2 weeks that was worse than what we've been playing. And like me
Mhm.
and Frankie agreed yesterday, I think I have enough faith in this team that they're not going to go on a worse stretch than we see right now.
Yep, I agree. I agree too.
Mm,
So no, like we said, the Yankees have been really really bad. Not horrible, but we've been pretty bad
mhm.
since the All Star break. You know, lineup's been cold, bullpen's been struggling. You know, so just I think we can take our off day today, and tomorrow we can go to a series in Boston, who is
Mhm.
pretty bad now. I think they're not
Yeah.
that good of a baseball team anymore. So hopefully
Mhm.
we can scrap out 2 or 3 wins from them, and then we can just go with our season.
Yeah, let me check out real quick the pitchers that they have lined up to face us in Boston. DG says, are you talking about Bader? Looked pretty good down in Double A. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I wasn't sure if he was playing or not.
Mhm.
But let's see. So Friday's game, you got Domingo Herman versus Nathan Evaldi. What's your thoughts on that game?
I mean, I'm not, not a big Domingo Herman fan. Neither are you,
Mm,
but he's
yeah.
been decent down the stretch. So, and we killed Evaldi last time we saw him. So,
Mhm.
hopefully, we can kill Evaldi again, and Domingo Herman can stay in his hot stretch, and we can squeak that game out.
Oh, you talking about beat the guy we got back from Joey Gallo? Yes, yes. I actually saw, yes, and yes, his stuff was filthy. 6 Ks and 3 innings. Yes, he throws
Jeez.
about 100 miles an hour. So hopefully we could turn that into a bullpen arm for the future. That's better than Albert Abreu, God damn it.
I was
But
so I was looking at his scouting report,
mm-hmm,
Peter, and
mm-hmm.
his scouting report looks very similar to a young Albert Abreu scouting report.
It's just a
You know,
control.
like yeah, yeah, just control it, hard thrower. You know, they have very similar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he can end up someone like a BREW, hopefully better.
Better.
But yeah, he's a very similar pitcher to Albert Abreu.
Yeah,
From
yeah, yeah. So far, when it comes to that move, yes, I know a lot of fans wanted the Yankees just to cut Joey Gallo and the Yankees to eat his money. But say what you want about Cashman. We got the 15th best prospect from the Dodgers and turned that to the 10th
Yeah,
best prospect in our
we were able to get a solid arm that can potentially pitch in our bullpen.
yeah.
So getting
Um
that for Joey Gallo, who's been bad,
mhm.
I like it.
Absolutely. And DG also said, would you say that the relief pitching needs improvement? I wouldn't say improvement. I think that this bullpen needs a few days off consecutively because
Yeah,
they're overworked and they're taxed, right? At the beginning of the season, when the Yankees were winning some games, by 3 runs, 4 runs, I was upset that Boone would push our starting pitchers to go an extra inning. Instead
yeah,
of taking them out in the sixth, after the sixth, he's taking them out after the seventh. At the
mhm,
beginning of the year, you justify that because you don't want to overwork your bullpen. But if
yep,
you tax your starting pitchers early in the season for an extra inning or extra 2 innings,
mhm.
later on in the year, that's going to mean that starting pitcher can't make a start or they're going to come out early in the game. So when you're trying to save 1 or 2 innings, it may cost you 4 or 5 innings later on in the season, if that makes sense, Frankie.
I understand what you're saying. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so back earlier in the season, our starters were also a lot better, and they were going a lot deeper as well. So that's also why the bullpen wasn't as taxed earlier in the year. But now,
Mm-hmm.
as the season goes on, our starters are going less and less innings. You're getting more hit around more.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the bullpen, who didn't really have to be utilized as much as they are now earlier in the year, are kind of getting exposed a little bit and having to pitch a lot more innings, pick up a lot more duty than they had to early. So I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
big reason why the bullpen has struck.
Um, my man Caputo said, when talking about Castillo, right, and Frankie Montas,
Yeah,
for Brian Cashman, I think his because his contract ends at this year. I
yeah,
think his new contract it's going to depend on who's more successful to that team, Frankie Montas or Luis Castillo. Right
hmm
now, it looks like Luis Castillo was the better choice, and the
yeah.
Mariners got the better pitcher out of the two right now. What's your expectations going down the line when it comes to that? What
I
I
mean,
just said.
Montas only had one start with us,
Mm-hmm.
so at least Castillo's had a fee to prove himself in Seattle. But
Mm-hmm.
Montas he's thrown one game. He missed probably he missed probably 2 starts because he had a
Yeah.
family thing going on. So I mean, that's not on him. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully he can bounce back from his pretty bad start last week. But I
Mm-hmm.
saw a tweet. CC Sabathia's first start as a Yankee, he threw 4 innings, gave up 6 runs.
Yep.
Ricky Montas's first start as a Yankee, he threw only 3 innings, gave up 6 runs. So that's not to say that Frankie Montas is prime CC Sabathia.
No.
That's kind of a testament to that's kind of a thing to show that you can't judge a pitcher off of his first start with a new team. You can't judge Frankie Montas off of one start because I bet I wasn't old enough to remember, but I bet when CC Sabathia made his Yankees debut in 2009, gave up 6 runs, I bet you Yankees fans were saying the same thing about CC Sabathia than they are about Frankie Montas now. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to say? Like, I've seen all over Twitter talking. My whole family's Yankee fans, and talking to them, seeing on Twitter. I've seen everyone I've talked to has bashed Frankie Montas, saying that he sucks. Like, no, he doesn't. He had one bad start in his first start with the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like you're telling me you expect him to be perfect every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Max Scherzer has bad starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every pitcher has bad starts. Just so happened that he made a bad first impression with a bad start. Like, give
Yeah.
me a break. He's a good pitcher. He threw one bad game. Give me a
Mm-hmm.
break.
That's like Frankie. If in the middle of your season, right, you decide to transfer schools, right? Say like you on a Tuesday you decide to transfer schools, right? So
Yeah.
Wednesday morning come, you get to your new school, and Wednesday afternoon you have your first game as a starting pitcher for that team. Are you going to be comfortable?
No, not at all. And say I get a hit around, right? Say I give up 4 runs, 5 runs, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's gonna say that I suck.
Yeah.
I know I don't suck. My old school knows he doesn't suck. It's the same way with Montas. He knows he doesn't suck. Everyone else that pays attention to him knows he doesn't suck. But he had one bad start in an uncomfortable team, uncomfortable place with the New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a break. He's good. He's very good.
Yeah, we're gonna know, and he's gonna have his test this weekend against the Boston Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
Historically, Frankie Montas has great numbers against the Boston Red Sox and Fenway Park, so we should be good. My man DJ said thoughts on Fidel Montero. Fidel Montero was that center fielder that the Yankees signed last February. He's in the Dominican, I think, Summer League or the DSL. I forgot what that means, but it's a great how can I say, development league, right? If you were to look at it, the Yankees also have, I'm gonna send you this guy. He's an 18-year-old pitcher, Frankie. He is 6'8". He wears number 99 and he throws 102 miles an hour.
Oh my
Filthy.
God.
But when I tell you that he's 6'8", it looks weird because you as a pitcher, the taller you are, the closer you could get to home plate, right? He is so long and so lanky. By the time he releases the pitch, it literally looks like he's already in your face. That's how long and lanky he is.
That is unreal.
Yeah, 6'8" as an 18-year-old. I'm gonna send you a video of him so you can see him, and you're gonna see how nasty he looks.
I'm 5'7". I throw 75. How am I? And I'm the same age as this kid. How am I supposed to compete with that?
Now, before we go, how many pitches you would say that you can throw or you did throw?
Jeez, I'd probably throw 4 or 5.
Okay.
I have.
No, I was going to ask, what are they? Lay them out for us.
4-seam, 2-seam, cutter, curveball, changes. Is that 5? That might be 5.
Yeah, that's 5. That's 5.
I throw 5. 5.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Well, let's see. Caputo said Cashman dropped the ball on this one. Listen, when it came to Castillo and Montas, the Seattle Mariners, they needed to make that trade. So they overpaid. They literally gave up 5 or 6 of the top 10 prospects.
I think they gave up too much for Castillo.
Yeah, the Seattle Mariners, they haven't been in the playoffs for 20 years. Hector, we doing a panel today. You know what? I'll put the invite out there, Frankie. I'm not sure how long you could hang with us, but if you could hang.
I have a doctor's appointment at 1, so I think I'm gonna have to head out.
No problem.
I'll see ya. See everyone.
Yep.
See you
later,
Monday.
Frankie. Yeah, see you on Monday, Frankie. Good luck at your doctor's appointment. I'll put this in the chat. So if Mazza, if Caputo want to jump on, I'll probably do it to about like 12:20, 12:30, just so we could talk. Albert, if you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to as well. DG, if you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to as well. Just guys, if you get backstage, just a few rules so everybody knows we're on the same page. If somebody's talking, allow them to finish, right? Let them get their thought across before you interject. Trust me, I have a problem with that. I like to always talk whenever I have a thought that runs through my head. But if somebody's talking, let them finish getting their thought across as we're all having this conversation. And as well, if you jump on the stage backstage and I need your camera on, if you can, just give me a thumbs up so I just know that's you backstage and not no troll. Oh, I see my man Michael Mazza backstage. Mikey, is that you? Let me get a thumbs up. Okay, my man Pots and Pans. Mazza, what's good?
What is going on, Hector?
Chilling, brother. How you doing on this beautiful Thursday?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay.
Oh, I see you comfy bumpy. You under that good old blanket. That means you got good AC going on. That's what that means. If you
I got no AC.
No way. And you got a blanket? Bro.
Dude, I'm in Washington State.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay, it's a lot cooler up there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my man Michael Caputo back here. Capoots, what it do?
How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, bro. Caputo, I'm gonna throw it to you first, and then throw it over to Michael Mazza. Caputo,
right.
What's your thoughts right now? How are you feeling? First of all, give me a virtual hug. You need a hug right now. Let me get a hug. Give me a hug, Caputo. Give me a goddamn hug, Caputo. Virtual hug. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it right now, man. I'm just it's like very depressing what this team is doing right now, doing to me. You know, I know a lot of Yankee fans. It's very troubling, and they gotta break out of this slump really quick, real fast, because it seems like we're on the verge of a collapse right here, man. This is not good. I mean, we had a 15 and a half game lead. What's going on over here? This is like
17 at one
1978.
point.
I mean, this is like 1978 all over again when the Red Sox collapsed. This can't happen. The Yankees have to get it together, man. I mean, this shrinks to 5 games. We might lose this division. I mean, what's going on? We had that game last night. I mean, we blew the lead. They took a 3-1 lead, and they blew it. It's like the pitching's great. If the pitching's great, the hitting sucks. If the hitting sucks, the pitching's horrible. You can't make this up. I mean, they've been in a tailspin since what, like July? Since like they lost to Houston.
Yep.
No, I would say it was that series against the Reds. I would say ever since that series against the Reds, this team has been utter dog doo-doo.
Yeah, they have been. And everyone's telling me it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. But what if it goes to 5 games or 4 games and it's not going to be all right? Then we got to be very.
Then I think it's time to start hitting the panic button.
You got to hit the panic button. I was just going to say.
I was just going to say the same thing that Caputo said. It's, you had a 15 and a half game lead over your entire division, which is by far the strongest division. And now you get down to a 4 or 5 game lead and you got to face teams like Tampa and Toronto. They're not going to make that easy on you. No. That league could be gone within a week. Mm-hmm. You can't expect to win a division if you're going to play like this. Your bullpen's got to come up big for you. I don't care who it is. Your bullpen's got to step up. Your starters got to step up. And you got to stop putting guys like Hicks in there who's going to go 3 for 4, buy himself an extra week, and then go 0 for the fucking century. You cannot do that. That's not how you win baseball games. Take it from a guy who's played before, who's played for years. It sucks as a pitcher when you are out there and you throw your best game yet, and you still can't buy a win.
Yep. It like I was talking earlier with Frankie, because Frankie's he's just removed from pitching competitively, but it takes away whatever momentum you're building going forward, right? If you have your starting pitcher giving you 6 innings of dominance, 10 strikeouts, especially if you've been struggling, especially if your starting pitcher have been struggling for the past couple of weeks, and you get a solid performance from Garrett Cole and Nestor Cortez back to back, and you lose both games, it's like Caputo said, it gets you frustrated and there's no confidence going forward. Like I know Caputo, last time you spoke, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I brought up that if this lead shrinks from 10 to 4 games, that means that the Yankees went on a stretch of 2 weeks of horrible baseball that we've seen these past 30 days. If you would have asked me a couple of days before the Seattle Mariners, these last 2 games, I would have said that I'm confident enough to know that this team going forward isn't going to play that bad, right? But right now, I'm 50-50 because after losing 2 games back-to-back that we should have won, both games, if you really think about it, I have no confidence going forward, whether it be confidence in the starting pitching, whether it be confidence in the bullpen or the hitters. Caputos, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, and now they're saying, okay, we got the Red Sox coming in. This team is awful. They're in last place. But what's that going to do? Because every team we face, we lose. I mean, now we're facing a team that's worse than the Cardinals and the Mariners. Now, are we going to step up and beat this team? The Red Sox aren't going to lay down for us. They're not going to lay down for us. They're going to
They're not going to. Right? It's not going to do nothing to just say, hey, here's the series, take it and go run with it. They're not going to. Exactly. They're going to make our lives miserable. That's what they do. That's the Red Sox.
Yes.
That's what they do. They make our lives miserable every year. It's just how that rivalry is.
Yeah, I tell you that. I tell you this right now, fellas. If the roles were reversed and the Red Sox were in the Yankees position and the Yankees was in the Red Sox position, us fans will want to make the Red Sox cry. If we had a chance to, derail the Red Sox great season, if they were having one, we would want our team to do that and make them cry, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to do the same, and we got to take advantage here. And this is the series where I believe this will be a collapse. If we don't take 2 out of 3, at least take 2 out of 3, I want to. Then this will be a collapse. And I think we're on the verge of a collapse in the making, because then it's going to be 6 games if we lose 2 out of 3 or get swept. So if that happens, then you have to really start thinking this Yankees team is not going to win the division anymore. And if we get a wild card, I'm going to be pissed off because if this team just settled for a wild card, and this is going to be really, really ridiculous.
I mean,
no matter my fault, Mike. I'll throw it to you right after this. But no matter what happens at the end of this year, when it comes to Cashman or Boone, if we get in by only the wild card, Cashman and Boone is both fired.
Yeah, they both Cashman definitely, and I don't care if his contract is expired; he's got to be gone. And Hal Steinbrenner, there's no doubt about it. You got to fire this guy. He should have been fired 20 years ago. I've been saying this 20 years ago that he should have been fired. Cashman is a horrible GM. He's a terrible GM. I don't care what you say. He's made his good moves, but the last great offseason he had was 2009 when they got CC Sabathia, Burnett, Teixeira. Since then, the guy doesn't know what he's doing. He makes terrible moves. They don't know what to do in the farm system. They make terrible trades. They prospect hug. They don't want to sign big names because of the luxury tax. I mean, that's another story for another day. But what this team is doing right now is god awful. They should have had this division by a big lead, and they shouldn't have blown it. And they're just playing with no confidence. They lost Rizzo and Stan. I don't even know if that's what it is anymore. I just think this team is just playing like utter dog shit, like you said, and it's a disgrace.
Mazza?
A couple things. One, I don't know if I completely agree with the whole Cashman thing, just because of the fact that he's the only general manager to have 20 years plus consecutive winning seasons. There is no other general manager that can say that. He also has 5 rings. 4 as a GM, 1 as an assistant GM. And that was in '96 with Bob. What's
Bob Watson? But Gene Michael.
Yeah, Bob Watson.
Yeah, but listen to me. Cashman hasn't won a championship since '09, and he only won 1 championship in 20 years, man. I mean, you can say what you want. I know you're a Cashman. I guess you're a Cashman fan, but this guy, I mean, first of all, the dynasty was Bob Watson and Gene Michael. They were the reasons why the Yankees won those 4 championships in the 90s. It was because of Gene Michael Watson. Cashman comes in basically in 1998 as the GM. And, yeah, he was a part of those championships. But since, 2009, he hasn't really delivered for this team.
I see your point, Caputo, but, I'm a little bit on the side of Mazza here when he brings up the past 20 years and the records. If Cashman was to be let go by the Yankees tomorrow, guarantee you the Cincinnati Reds, the San Francisco Giants, somebody's going to call.
Let them pick him up. I don't really care.
One thing I can say is that if you do want to critique Brian Cashman, it's making the big move when you have to make the big move. Because even when he took over in '98, the big move he didn't make was the Randy Johnson trade. Right. And he didn't want to trade Juan Rivera, who we had in the system. He didn't want to trade Ricky Leday, who we had in the system, for Randy Johnson. So one thing I could say is when it comes to making that big acquisition for a number one, whether it's a number one starting pitcher, whether it's the best player in the league, Cashman doesn't make that move.
I can do other things. Manny Machado. He didn't want to trade Justice Sheffield for Manny Machado. Did not want to trade Aguado Nunez for Cliff Lee. Did not want to trade for Justin Verlander. I mean, there's so many trades I could go through, and he missed the ball on. And then Luis Castillo. Look what Luis Castillo is doing to us. He's dominant. He owns the Yankees, Luis Castillo. And the guy never even pitched against the Yankees until he was a Cincinnati Red. I mean, he's killed us. I mean, it's ridiculous. If we face them in the playoffs, Seattle could knock the Yankees out. The way they played.
Well, I say when we first faced Seattle, we swept them at the stadium. So it's just been the past 2 series. We've struggled against them, but yeah, it's momentum. It's how good your team is playing at the moment, and right now the momentum for this team it's not the best when you look at it. And this is one thing that I can't stand, and I'll throw it over to you, Mazza, to answer this for me. But when it comes to Brian Cashman, right, and this team. Controllability is something that Brian Cashman loves to have, right? The reason why
is important.
Yeah. The reason why Oswald Peraza is not up right now, it's because August 18th is when they extend the players' arbitration years, or however you want to put it.
You can extend their options. Yeah, his options.
If you wait till August 18th to bring somebody up, it doesn't affect their options and it doesn't affect their arbitration, right? So that means that, if the Yankees decide to trade him in the offseason, whatever team gets to look at him from August 18th and on, will have an extra control and extra time with Oswald Peraza. Are you frustrated that he's not up here yet? Or what's your thoughts of Peraza? Do you think he deserves to be up here, or it's just some fans that are just looking at minor league numbers and not really dissecting it?
I think you got to dissect him more than just minor league numbers. Yeah, he's great in the minors, outstanding. I'm happy for the guy. I'm happy that he's killing it down in the minors. But that does not translate to major league numbers. You have to remember the minor leagues, they're just getting acquainted to big league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got drafted. Yeah, they're getting paid. But at the same time, when it comes to Major League Baseball, it's different because guys throw harder. They throw nastier breaking stuff than you see in the minors. They throw stuff that you wouldn't dream of seeing in minor league baseball. This isn't Major League Baseball. This is the minors. So to give him that extra couple of months to develop and develop properly, so you're not bringing them up and sending them down, which really hurts a player's confidence and their ability. And I've said this from day one, you should never do that to a player. Because that's what kills their confidence. Because then they're like, oh, I'm killing it in the majors. Why am I getting sent back down? Now I don't know if I can do this anymore. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it again. Why am I being thrown around? You cannot do that to a player. So it's different. It's much different. It doesn't matter if take high school and college. Okay? If you play college baseball, are you going to see the same stuff you see in high school? No. Because they're not as developed. It's the same concept. So you got to dissect it more into that than just the minor league numbers.
That awesome. I love that response, because if you want to look at evidence on at the major league level, perfect example is Jared Kelenic with the Seattle Mariners. Jared Kelenic in the minor leagues, he's hitting over 300. He kills it every time he comes to the majors. He can't hit. He's a below 160 hitter in the majors, right? He was the top prospect in that Edwin Diaz trade from the Mets. In the minors, he kills it. In the majors, he struggles. Another perfect example is Park. You remember Park when the Yankees had him last year? He was hitting what, 330, 350?
Everyone's like, "Oh my God, we traded him," but that doesn't translate into Major League Baseball stats. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah. Now, with me saying that, it's something that I'm gonna pivot back to Caputo, and I'll end it with that. Caputo, I'll let you close it out with your last point on this. But when it comes to Luis Castillo, right, and Frankie Montas, I want to give Montas a few more stars before really grading it or whatever. But I agree with you when it comes to trading for Luis Castillo. As much as I want to see Volpe in the majors succeed, as much as a great story that would have been, we don't know if it's really going to happen because he's just a prospect. And that's all what prospects are nowadays. As much as I love Jason Dominguez and want to see him to succeed, he's just a prospect at the end of the day. So if it was too many prospects that made you push back and not make the trade, and you're looking towards the future, because Brian Cashman, he has to think for this year and the years afterwards, right? He doesn't want to gut the minor league system and then leave it barren to not be able to make some moves for the years coming. But it's when you're trying to win and you need somebody to go right next to Garrett Cole as a solid number two, it's a head scratcher. Just like the Monty trade, it's a head scratcher. I'm 50-50 on the Monty move now. Honestly.
I didn't understand that either. I mean, and they should have made the move for Castillo. I would have done it. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, but I would have done it because they got a chance to go for the World Series. And now that could have cost the Yankees the World Series now, not getting Luis Castillo. I like Montes, but Castillo is a better pitcher. I mean, you just can't deny it. I mean, the guy has lights out stuff. He dominates us. I mean, he's like Justin Verlander against the Yankees now. So, I mean, that's very troubling. And the Yankees really they screwed that up. And also the Montgomery thing is a head scratcher. You just weakened the rotation. You took a starter out, didn't get a pitcher back in return. They should have at least got a starter. I don't get that trade. We traded for a fourth outfielder who's injured, and we didn't get no starter in return back from Montgomery. They should have at least got a pitcher. I thought they were going to trade for Pablo Lopez. That's what
they were on the verge of it.
Go ahead, Mazza. Yeah. Go ahead. Lay it out.
They were on the verge of it. They were going to send Aaron Hicks. They were going to send Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
They were going to send 3 prospects. Oswald Peraza was one of them.
Wow.
But then at the last minute, I kid you not, 5:59 Eastern Standard Time, the GM of the Marlins came on and said, "We want one more prospect. We have agreed on a trade with you, but we want one more prospect to get this deal done." And Brian Cashman was like, "No, I'm not doing that. We have a deal. Why is this not good enough?" And then they pulled out. That's how the deal got killed, was because of the Marlins GM wanting that extra prospect, which they never agreed upon.
Yeah. And that right there,
so there it is.
Yeah, those one of those moves that, if you're Brian Cashman and you're that other GM from the Marlins, I forgot her name, but that's a game of chicken, and the Marlins GM won that game of chicken.
But see, once again, Brian Cashman had a chance to strike a deal with another really good pitcher, and I mean that's why this guy is just he costs us the championship every single deadline in offseason. We didn't do anything last year. Look, the Mets passed us up now. Houston passed us up. The Dodgers passed us up. No longer best record in baseball. That's out the window. Goodbye. It's gone. Now the Yankees have to win this division.
I want to ask you fellas, just because we're 3 minutes from the 30-minute mark, I want to ask you guys real quick. If the worst case scenario happens and we lose to the Astros and the ALCS, and you have the World Series being the Astros and the New York Mets, who are you rooting for? Mazza, I started off with you and throw it on to Caputo. Who are you rooting for if you're rooting for anyone?
2 things. One, I'm rooting for the Mets all the way because I can't stand the Trastros. I can't stand them at all. They're arrogant, they're ignorant, and they think that they're better than everyone, and they're not. They're not. Let's be real here. They're trash. And then the second thing is tomorrow I will be going live again at 4 p.m. New York Standard Time. So whoever is following my channel, please come join us because it's all good, clean baseball fun, good baseball content. So come on over and enjoy.
Beautiful. I'll be there tomorrow because I'm off tomorrow from both the show and from my doctor's appointment. But Michael Caputo, worst case scenario happens. Who are you rooting for, the Astros or the Mets? I hate to ask you this question, but I gotta ask it to you. Who are you rooting for?
Neither.
Bingo. I knew that was your answer, baby. That's why you're Caputo. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys for jumping onto the panel. You guys know that you guys are always more than welcome. Monday, we will be back to dissect this weekend that just happened. Monday, we'll be opening up the panel as well. So again, at 12 o'clock, Caputo and Mazza, if you guys want to jump on the panel at 12 o'clock Monday, you guys are more than welcome to. Totally appreciate you guys for joining. Like Mazza said, make sure you go follow the 4 Train Express. He will be going live tomorrow. Make sure you follow the BX Sports Jedi because that's where you could catch myself and Michael Caputo watching and watch-alongs. Mazza, if you're free, I could try to see if I could get you to join one of the panels for the watch-along if that's something that you want to do. But, fellas,
I'm down.
Appreciate you guys for joining. Mazza, I'll email you. I'll write you on Instagram. Caputo and Mazza, love you guys. Guys, I am Hector, host of the Yankees Morning Brew. My co-host Frankie. We'll be back on Monday. Hopefully these Yankees can fix it up, but we out of here. Peace.